Hello, BookTube. Hello, book friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. And something that's possibly going to be a little bit different today. I'll explain why it's different in a minute, although you can probably see I'm using StreamYard to record this today because I have been tagged by Alan from the channel Big Hard Books and Classics to do the readers songs tag or readers music tag, and this is a tag that was created by Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, and it is basically a tag to talk about your favorite music and sort of answer the question, I think, do you listen to music when you read? And short answer is no, I don't. And I initially thought, I don't think I can do this one, because at the moment or the vast majority of my CD collection and a few bits of vinyl that I've got are in storage, or at least in boxes. And then I thought, actually, I can, because when I turned 50, I did a series of 50 newsletter posts on turning 50. And one of the very first posts I did was about my kind of 50 favorite songs, or 50 of my favorite songs, let's put it that way. And as part of that, I created a playlist on Apple Music, and I have that playlist still. So what I was going to do was try and share that playlist on screen and at least talk about some of the songs on there. I think Greg talked about sharing 12. It was a 50 track playlist. And then what happened was, after I'd published it and sent the newsletter out, I was like listening to the radio and things like that, thinking, I should have had that one on the playlist. So I added them. So I think it's now about 64, 65 tracks. So I'm good till I retire, I think, at this rate anyway. So let me try and see. There we go. So I don't know how well this is showing up, but this, to explain the title, I guess, I'm a 70s and 80s kid, and my wife describes my taste in music as middle-aged, middle-of-the-road music, and to some extent that's true, but it centers around this title track, You Can Call Me Out. You can probably guess why that is on there, because a lot of people do. And when Paul Simon released this in whatever it was, the mid to late 80s, I guess, it became a kind of bit of an anthem for me. So anyway, that is the title track. And then some of these are just tracks from albums I love. So, for example, the two Dire Straits from Brothers in Arms, I love the entire album, but these are the two that were probably best well known when they were released. So Money for Nothing and Walk of Life. Moon Over Bourbon Street, Sting's song about vampires in New Orleans. Summer of '69, who could not like Summer of '69? Some Lloyd Cole, again, more Sting with Russians, which is about the kind of nuclear arms race, and Khrushchev and Kennedy and so on. So, there are a lot of tracks in here. I'll try and put the entire playlist, or at least the 50, in the video description or in a pinned comment or somewhere, because video descriptions are a bit text limited. And then you can either create. I'll also put a link to the playlist, so if you have Apple Music, you can play the playlist yourself. Some Guns N' Roses, some Fred Astaire, lots on here that are just tracks that I love for a variety of reasons. Together in Electric Dreams, because it was the title track to the kind of Electric Dreams film that was out in the 80s that I really love. It's not a very good film, but it's just a film that I like. Big Yellow Taxi, sort of a Joni Mitchell original song covered by Counting Crows, and I love the Counting Crows, so that's why that's on there. Dignity by Deacon Blue, another one of my favourites. Some Eric Clapton on there, which perhaps less said about Eric Clapton these days, the better. Some Monkeys, Daydream Believer. This Della and the Dealer is a Hoyt Axton country track, and the reason it's on here is because in the mornings when I was getting ready to go to school, my mum always had the radio on, and she always had Radio 2 on. And the time of day, it would either be the kind of pre-breakfast show, which at the time was Ray Moore, or the breakfast show, which was Terry Wogan. And if you live in the UK, you'll know who I'm talking about. It might mean absolutely nothing to you anywhere else in the world. But this song was always played, Della and the Dealer. And it's kind of it's almost kind of part of it's an earworm, certainly. So yeah, that's in there. Love Paul Kelly, the Australian musician and singer. Deeper Water is probably my favourite track of his, and well worth a listen. Some Simple Minds, gotta have some AC/DC on there, same as you've got to have some ZZ Top. Bit of Prince, another music, a track from a movie in Convoy, bit of Iron Maiden, so a bit of In Excess. There's lots on here. Bit of Queen, bit of Bruce Hornsby and the Range, bit of Toto, bit of Tom Petty. Lots and lots of tracks on here. As I say, I think this is now something like 63 songs. So yeah, that's kind of my music. Now I've got to work out how to turn this off. Let me press. There we go. So yeah, that's my contribution to the tag. I apologise that it's a bit of an obscure way to do it. As I say, I'll try and put the full playlist in the description or one of the comments or a pinned comment. But thanks to Alan for tagging me. Thanks to Greg for coming up with it. As I say, a bit of an unorthodox method to show you quite what my music taste is like. And I make no apologies for having no music taste at all, as you can probably tell. But if you have been, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.